Welcome back to another podcast. My name is Seth. This is No Sugar, No Cream podcast. And we are here on this lovely Tuesday day. Tuesday is a day, yes. Just a few minutes, started a few minutes late, no big deal. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, or about to be, and TikTok. Hey, we're everywhere. We're live everywhere, all around the world. Maybe you're on the beach relaxing. Watch us. Maybe you're in jail. Watch us. But guys, we have another good one for you. With me, as always, my co-host Tim.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today? How are you doing this fine, warm day?
Oh, just doing great. I love it.
That's
spring.
fantastic.
Spring
And that's
great.
the podcast for today. How exciting. Yeah, well, Tim was nice enough to find $10 that I lost last night. It fell out of my pocket. He thought, appreciate that. But then again,
this guy's climbing back up.
Oh, he can make it after being. That's how
You knocked him down.
That's how he makes it. Of course, I did find $200 of yours.
You did,
Yeah,
but it was in the laundry.
it was in
so
laundry. This is a little different.
that was on the front lawn.
Tim had to go through the grass, and it blends in like grass. And
So last night when you're coming back from poker night,
poker, yeah, it fell out of my pocket because my keys were in that pocket and shallow pockets. TikTok clothing. Yeah. I think it's some khakis I got from TikTok. They're pretty nice. No, they're nice, but it's kind of shallow pockets. But
have you ever?
yeah, I don't like having cash on me.
Have you ever ordered anything on Temu yet?
Temu, I think
Or
I've done
Temu,
it a
however
couple.
it's
Yeah,
pronounced.
I've done it a couple times. It just takes forever to get here. But
Yeah, I want some. Their guitar stuff, music stuff is really cheap. Not important. Not like anything that the sound goes through, electronics, like a pedal board, which is just a piece of plastic. And I got one of those in the past, and it arrived, and it looks fine. And I'm revamping my live setup a little bit, and I want a little platform that I can bolt or clamp to a mic stand and put some pedals on it so that I can adjust them in real time. I don't have to bend over. And the best place to get that inexpensively is Temu. And so I've been battling Temu. The only reason I'm continuing is they're so cheap, but my gosh, the way they've set it up, you got so many exploding, spin this wheel and get this discount. I just want to order something. Just let me they don't let you get to the ordering. It's crazy.
yeah, I don't think they realize that they're hurting themselves.
The frustration level, I'm about ready to say, forget it. My time is valuable. I don't have time to mess with this. Your stuff is cheap, but my frustration is through the roof because you can't ignore that.
It takes you 5 minutes just to get to the items to
Right.
because they got
Right.
congratulations, you save 25%, which means nothing. Like it just nothing. Those discounts don't even apply to anything. They think, I don't know. They have this idea of Americans that we just all push buttons at a casino or something. I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to think twice before going back on there. I cannot deal with that incredible time suck and frustration of trying to just let me get to my thing and order it. I'll pay normal price. Just let me get to it, and you can't.
Were you able to find the items on Amazon?
I think.
On
Not Amazon. Well, I'm still on Temu. We'll see. They gave me 4 gift things that are free, and you can only get one a day, so you got to go on there each day. And I'm claiming it, but even finding that page where the gift is, it's not easy. So if it works, I ordered 2 trays. They bolt on a mic stand, and they're just like maybe about the size of this computer, and it's not a big thing. I mean, it's not all it has to do is support whatever you're putting on it. A drink or a notepad or whatever just a platform that bolts like on a mic stand. And it's not it's not an important part of your sound. It's not your amp. It's not your guitar. It's not your mic. but it's useful, it's helpful, it's needed. And I wouldn't order. Now they do sell guitars and pedals and things like that, but I'd be a little microphones. They do sell all that stuff, but man, I'd be nervous of using that. A very important gig, and all of a sudden your Temu gear breaks because it's so cheap. That electrocute you. So interesting times we live in. I mean, Temu. It's only been, how long has Temu been around? Since certainly post
I
COVID.
was born in South Dakota. Didn't say I didn't warn you.
Back in the day in the '60s, people did get shocked and get thrown. I mean, big electrical shocks, and get people thrown. They would literally get thrown across the stage. That was not uncommon in the '60s when gear was much more primitive, or the amps would burn up like what am I thinking of? Is it
It's not Voss, no.
what's the one British maker? Not Marshall, but the other one. And now I can't. It starts with a V. It's not Vox, is it? Not Vox. There is a Vox brand, which is an American brand. I can see them. I can see them in my. But they would burn up.
Now they're good enough where you could practically play in the rain. I mean, they'll be playing in the stuff in the rain sometimes, right? The equipment.
Yeah, sometimes. Good? Yeah, equipment is good. It's grounded much more safely and that sort of thing. So, AC 30, AC 15. What's the brand? I can't come up with it. Starts with a V.
No, hey, no free brands here. Know. You already gave props to Marshalls. Support us, Marshalls. Not sponsored.
Not yet.
Not sponsored. Love to be.
Marshall just got
sold. Look at you, Yamaha.
Marshall just got sold. The family, Jim Marshall, who invented it, died, and his family has this conglomerate, and they sold the controlling interest in the conglomerate to a Chinese company. And now people are saying, buy your Marshalls now, because in the past, regardless of where the ownership is, I mean, no slam on Chinese, but I mean, you could have a whole nother podcast on having a Chinese company own Marshall. But whether Gibson and Fender were owned by corporate overlords, and the Fender was sold. Leo Fender sold Fender in 1965, and there's pre-CBS. CBS is the company that bought them. And there's pre-CBS Fenders, which are super expensive, and post-CBS Fenders, which dropped in value because CBS was all about making money, and they started changing. Now, a 65, 66, 67 is still pretty good because it took a while for them to make the changes that they were going to make, but gradually each year got less desirable. But a pre-CBS, that's the holy grail for collectors. Those are the expensive ones. Same thing happened with Gibson. A company called Norland bought Gibson, and around the same time. I don't know the exact years. And so the Norland years of Gibson are considered the least valuable. So there are people saying that now this era of Marshall, owned by corporate overlords, get your Marshall amps now because they're going to find ways to make them cheaper and lower quality. I don't know.
Do you want the Marshall or do you want Marshall? Go get your Marshall. You choose. Which one do you want?
So,
we do music with Marshall.
So how'd you played poker last night?
Around 10th place. I was doing all right. And then the hands, just to make it start, because for the longest time, nobody gets out, and then you can rebuy. So like people will stick around. So the hands get higher and higher as the tournament does, and so like you have less and less chips, or like it gets up to where it's like 25,000, and then I only have like a few. I only have 75,000, so that's only 3 hands I have worth. So I went. I just.
So you brought $100,000 with you to that poker game?
Yeah, I sure did.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Or did you $250,000? Did you bring? Or
my
how
daddy's
much?
rich. and Tim leaves a lot of money in the dryer.
Yes, for those who don't know,
pretty
I mean, it's just a game. You buy in, and the chips, you can't cash them in for actual cash. It's illegal to have a real poker game in
Tim's gonna snitch on us
Nashville.
again.
So it's a game, and the winner of the game wins like a $30 or $40 prize. Well, that's what it is. It's a game.
We are not doing anything illegal. Please do not report us.
And Mitch, who runs it, he has it going on, 6 nights a week?
Right
In
now,
different
I think it's,
venues?
5.
Different places?
4 or 5.
And
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You
yeah.
get some extra chips for food and stuff. So, oh
yeah,
my
if you
gosh,
buy
French
food,
dip.
you
I
get
had a
extra
French dip.
chips. Yeah. So if you buy food or if you buy a drink, that's the incentive that's why the restaurant or the establishment has it. Mm-hmm. So they want to bring in business, especially on like the early weeknights, like Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah. I mean, we had 25 people there,
Of course, that was St. Patrick's Day, so
which seems like a majority of people celebrated St. Patrick's Day over the weekend.
Okay.
A good amount of them, but it was surging. I Ubered there, and it was surging a little bit in price, but there was a little bit more people than usual. But yeah, we had just in general, like at the bar and everything. But like we had about 25 people, and I got about 10th place. So, but I'm due a win. It's been a while, but I've done okay in the past. I've gotten a couple ties a lot of times. Once you get to 2 people, you just kind of split it a lot of times if everybody else agrees.
So if you win, what do you win? $40, 45?
Anywhere from $40 to $100 usually.
It depends on how many people paid in to the pot to buy
how
in.
many people are there or whatever, because nobody pays in, Tim. Officer?
Okay, what is the correct terminology to make it legal as a game? Not pays in. What is it then?
It's just a free play poker game.
Yeah, but you're talking about you had $75,000 in your deal and you didn't pay in $75,000.
Well, no, that's what the chips are. The chips value
it at, yeah.
Or yeah.
But it's $4 to up, right? Is it to get a wood nickel? Is $4 or $5?
$5.
$5.
But yeah, so you can spend money to buy nickels, and those nickels you can exchange to rebuy in. But technically, the game is completely free. You can play all the way through, and for the most part, I've never done very well by rebuying because you're only rebuying for 10,000. I can last a little longer, but really your best bet is to do well at the beginning and to stay consistent. And you got to fold a lot of hands. I mean, goodness, I was losing a decent amount of chips just by being in some of those hands that. Well, I had good hands too. Like, I was getting like a couple high cards, and then it'd be nothing but lower cards, so I wasn't hitting anything as far as a straight or some pairs or anything. But poker's a lot of fun. I played real poker when I was down before our cruise in December, and I had a blast doing that. And I think I went up and then went down and then went back up or something like that, and. I think I ended up leaving with just like $50 less than what I came with,
So you brought the $250,000 to that one.
Yeah. No, I think I played with $100, then came back in with another 100, and then left with like 200 or so. I think I ended up down just a little bit, had bought in for 300 or something like that. I think I was ended up down a little bit, but it was like that was. About 10 hours of entertainment like that, and I loved it. It was fun. I made some friends.
Yeah, that actually is a pretty cheap entertainment if you look at it that way. I mean,
really,
you couldn't go to. I mean, let's say if you went to Disney or something. I mean, Disney's out of control.
Yeah, Disney's like a couple $100, I think, to go to Disney for a day now.
Yeah, or what other movie? I mean, heck, if you go see a movie now, isn't it $20 for a ticket?
Yeah, just 2 hours, and gonna run you $20. So still the best thing to do is. If you have AMC around you, you get the monthly membership, which is like $25, or even just $20, and that gets you 3. They still have that. You got that's what Dale and I always used to, and I just haven't. Been going to the movies as much with Netflix. There's so much just on Netflix and Hulu, and we have a number of different providers. But I just haven't been going to the movies as much, and there hasn't been as good as movies lately. They haven't. Yeah, they haven't made Star Wars movies in many years.
Star Wars is going to be sold.
Right, they've been. You mentioned that they're
trying to sell it,
but there's no takers
Nobody wants
yet.
to buy it.
Nobody wants to buy it. So
they've been trying to sell it for almost 8 months.
yeah,
according to the rumors. The rumors.
Yeah, right. It's still a rumor, but probably somebody. Yeah,
somebody probably leaked it. We could buy it.
They got all their. Yeah. You got $4 billion around. They probably want to sell it for probably at least $5 billion. I bet.
Is that what they paid for? It was $4.
I think they paid $4 billion for it, and they got their money back in less than 2 years, and already had made a profit. But and that's with them doing a crappy job, and they had the same.
The woman they fired her.
No, she's retiring. She should have got fired.
She's retiring.
Yeah, she's retiring. Yeah, she should have.
And then James Bond franchise got bought
by Amazon.
Was it Amazon? Well, Amazon will do it right.
Yeah, I know why some people were freaking out, but Amazon was like,
well, to me,
by the way, it hasn't been the same since the '90s. I'm a kid of the '90s where I like all the gadgets and gadgets and stuff, and they stopped doing that. Then I've never liked with the movies that much with Daniel, and which majority of people do, but I like all the gadgets, the kind of like a little bit of sci-fi in a way because they're extreme versions of things that. Of gadgets and stuff. Like at one point, there's like an invisible car, which is an extreme. But they just have all kinds of little gadgets on the cars and stuff. And he has different watch things and just cool. I loved all that stuff. And that was Pierce Brosnan. He was he was my favorite. To me,
Sean Connery. Sean Connery was the best 007 of all time.
Sean Connery, yeah. And man, you could go back and watch any of those 007 movies, and they're so good. Go back, they're all really good. Amazon, man, has been killing it, man, especially with action and stuff. You watch Jack Reacher, which there was just a couple movies that was put out where it was Tom Cruise that was the Jack Reacher. There was 1 or 2 movies, and now there's a series, and they're on the 3rd season. And I'm like, they're coming out with a new episode every week, and I am enjoying that like crazy. It's so good. The first 2 seasons were amazing. It's this big actor, very talented actor, and he is killing it. The action's amazing, and he went undercover with working for this guy, and it's a whole like kind of gun running scenario thing. Thought he had killed this bad guy, but the bad guy survived when he got shot in the head, but he still survived, and so that's kind of and he's after this guy again, and it seems like the guy had amnesia and doesn't remember him or whatever because he got shot in the head, but I guess he remembered how to be a bad guy. He didn't say it.
Well, Tom Hardy played a crazy Jewish gangster in Peaky Blinders, and he got shot in the head. I thought the character he played got shot in the head, and I thought that was the end of that character. I don't remember the name of the character, but then the next season, there he is again. He survived getting shot in the head. So,
is Peaky Blinders, is that Netflix or is that HBO?
Don't recall. I think it was Netflix.
I think that's one of those. I don't think I've. Yeah, I think you're right.
You've never watched Peaky Blinders?
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I think I've heard you reference it, but it's one of those shows
I have so much less respect for you now.
That's cute, Tim. You had just as least amount of respect before I said that. Doesn't faze me one bit.
So you're saying that it was so low I couldn't have gone any lower?
No, it's already so low. It didn't even faze me. She didn't even cry or nothing. I was like, that's cute.
That's not true. That's not true, Seth.
Put it there, partner.
Yes, absolutely.
This guy's
the best, the funniest man in Nashville. Funniest man in Nashville.
Stop. No, seriously, stop. I would like to take this time to thank my co-host, Tim Wolf, for his hard work on this podcast, his undying restraints for my insanity. having to deal with me and my problems and my physical and mental ailments. But you know what? Every Tuesday he's here. Yes, he'd much rather be crying in his bed right now, weeping. Why? God, why? Why me? What did I do? This isn't my child. I'm just an uncle. This isn't my fault. But you know what? No. He's here. And I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, nephew.
Clip that, baby. Clip it.
All right.
my
Wow,
goodness.
man. Yeah.
I don't know how we can go in. Bob, go ahead and cut it. We're done for the day. No. There was a couple things I was going to talk about. But yeah, Amazon. I've really been enjoying Amazon, but there's been so much. I haven't felt like going to the movies. Just been there's so many good stuff. You got Paramount Plus killing it with the shows. I'm always telling you about some show on Paramount Plus. There's a number of them.
They're a higher level.
You have I want to say his name, give him props, but you had somebody come out of nowhere in the last 7 years or so.
Taylor
Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah, Sheridan. Yeah,
good. Thank you. His first one was with Yellowstone. Wrote that and everything. Killer show. And then
there's the one with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh my gosh, Landman.
Landman. Yeah,
so good. I'm pretty sure that's already gotten greenlit for another season. Amazing action, and then Billy Bob Thornton. Oh my gosh, and then the supporting cast is amazing. You got somebody from he has a wife character who's now older, but grew up doing some like teen movies and stuff. Who she's amazing, and he has a son. Which, oh my gosh, his son looks like he could be from Arkansas. He's got that hillbilly.
Taylor, you're talking Taylor,
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, Billy Bob
Thornton.
Thornton.
Yeah, thank you for. But yeah, so and that's why Tim would rather be in bed right now, crying, just having to deal with this and just.
The one thing that I would just as a casual observer, it seems that Taylor Sheridan is creating roles for older actors that maybe are still phenomenal, but
yeah, you mentioned that.
That's my takeaway. I mean, Billy Bob. Nobody's putting Billy Bob Thornton as a leading man anymore. Nobody was putting.
Well, no, he had a show on Amazon.
Johnson.
Nothing like crazy.
What was his name? Who was the leader of Yellowstone? I can see his face. What's the actor's name?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
He was in in the 90s. He was in that movie that was filmed in South Dakota with the Indians, and that was at the peak of his success. But he hasn't done much. He was in Waterworld. He was in a bunch of stuff, but he's kind of like faded away. And now he's back because of Taylor Sheridan. Kevin Costner. Yeah. I mean, he was really. I think it rejuvenated his career. I hadn't seen him in things in a while.
I mean, well, yeah, that's the thing. When you have this, I mean, you have one of the top shows. So I mean, like, he's been working all along, but things that have just gone crazy. I mean, Yellowstone is like a show that's 1 in 10 years. It's up there with Game of Thrones. It's that. But,
maybe he's been working, just haven't hit. Maybe that was it.
Right.
And then. And I get the name, the celebrity name, that we're watching the one that is based on Jeannie Buss from the Lakers. And what's that show called? Being basketball fanatics that we are. What the heck?
I know, everything else.
Kate Hudson is now they always used to say that
when based on basketball
based on Jeannie Buss, who was the and I think she still is the manager. Her dad passed, and she's the manager of the Lakers, the owner and general manager. And she was dating Phil, the coach, the guy who's won more championships than anybody else.
Yeah. Did we say it's on Netflix? Running Point is the show.
Running Point, yeah, is the name of the show. And I hadn't seen her. Now, maybe, I mean, again, I'm not as avid. I used to be a real avid movie goer, and I'm much less than I was. But I hadn't seen her in a long time. And
great.
she looks phenomenal, amazing. And she's the leading lady on that, or leading lady, is that the right term?
Mm-hmm.
And doing a great job. And I recognized her, man. I know that actress, and Kate Hudson, and she's just killing it. I mean, it used to be the common trope was once a woman turns 40, they've lost their leading lady ability. And I know that Kate Hudson is over 40, and that's been, there's a lot other women who have been able to in the modern era of Hollywood, and I applaud that. That.
Well, yeah, you got what Harrison Ford and so they did a prequel after Yellowstone. They did a couple prequels. They did one way back,
18 something.
But yeah, the one that's has the new episodes right now is 1923. And then there's
1863, 18.
There's one season where it's 18 something, and that's I think that's the one where they're headed toward Yellowstone, and that's really good. And it has kind of the lead character in that is a girl, and then you have somebody that's there's a husband and wife that are like country singers that play in that one. It's amazing. They do an amazing job in that.
I think again, not being an expert, but my viewing it, I believe that it used to be the studios.
1883.
The studios. That's what I thought. I had that right. Mind is a steel trap. Oh no! I said 1863. Mind is not a steel trap. My mind is a flabby metal coat hanger. Anyway, it used to be that the studios controlled everything. I mean, you had to, like, who's the guy that got put in prison for all of the sexual? He ran all of the studios. He ran everything with it. Weinstein. Mm-hmm. If you had to, in order to get the funding, you had to go through Weinstein, and if you're a woman, he expected you to perform on his casting couch. And that was just recent. I mean, it was the last 20 years or 30 years. And now I think that stranglehold, there's these independent, like Taylor Sheridan, he's independent. He's not beholden to any. I mean, and part of it is the streaming. Netflix has got their own money, and they're not a studio. They can do what they want, and they've got billions of dollars to spend. So all of this in the last, I mean, Netflix wasn't a force until the teens, probably. When did Netflix start? 2010, 2012, 2015?
Started with the home delivery before that.
Yeah, but the actual streaming, where you could stream movies, had to have been after 2010. Had to have been.
Around that 2010 mark, somewhere around there.
And then, of course, they were first feeling it out, and then they got into the teens, and suddenly now they're minting money. And they've got budgets, and they're not beholden to any studio. So the studios have become less, their power has been broken to some extent. And so their ways of doing things are no longer the only way things can get done.
And everybody's doing the streaming thing. In fact, it's basically Sheridan that runs Paramount Plus, the app. All his shows are on there. I guess except for the original Yellowstone. But because he has that other. There's another couple of shows too. Like there's a Black Ops show that's amazing. Oh my gosh, has a leading lady that she's gorgeous and amazing actress, and of course I can't think of her name because that's one of my flaws as a perfect person. A non-perfect person. But anyways, you were talking about older actors, playing some amazing parts and not getting as many as usual. But in 1923, you have Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
Oh, wow. The Grande Dame. Helen Mirren, she's got to be. Is she almost 70, 80 now, maybe?
And then, for the most part, a lot of actors that I'm not familiar with at all that kind of got some extra, get some big opportunities.
Big fan of Helen Mirren.
But it's on its second season right now, and they play husband and wife, and They're killing it. It's so good.
That's amazing. I didn't realize. I want to watch that now just because you said that.
Yeah,
because Harrison Ford. They say he's kind of grumpy in real life now. Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to be asked about certain parts of Star Wars or something. Or maybe that's a bit. It could be a bit that he's playing.
He's done a bit where he's gone on like Jimmy Kimmel's show and
destroyed stuff.
And like, oh yeah, he gets up. Oh, I'll show you the clip later. But he gets up and lets people ask questions. But he says no Star Wars questions.
Right, I've seen that clip.
And then he goes dressed up as Star Wars characters, get up and be like,
and he throws stuff and breaks stuff and stuff like that.
Maybe I haven't seen that one.
And I don't know if it's a bit. It might be a bit, or it might be real. Who knows?
And then I feel like everything though connected with a late night is going to be a bit.
Probably
for the most part.
Yeah.
But then then Chewbacca comes out and he's like. And they start having an argument. It's hilarious because, of course, you don't know what Chewbacca's saying, but he's
Well, that's planned. Obviously, that's planned and rehearsed. But so
no, that's real. That's the real part.
It's great, and the same is happening in music. Although music has a problem in that the labels have less and less power than they used to. But I read an article this morning, all of the money is going to the tech companies, not the artists, not even the labels. The labels are, I think, Universal had a 15% drop in revenue. Last year, I just saw the reports. Universal is the biggest music company in the world. And, between publishing and there's also the threat of AI. And Spotify has like 10% of their streams are AI, where they don't have to pay anybody. By
the way, anybody watching us on video, that's just a shadow on Tim. We have the window open here.
Oh,
it's a beautiful day. Probably
the light coming in. You want to shut
that
blind a little bit. So, the technology, and it's accelerating. AI is getting so good, you can just pull down. There you go. Nice. Get the light out of my eyes. Well, I went to Boston last week since the podcast.
Oh yeah, we just talked about you going. Yes. How was your trip?
It was great. I went to my old neighborhood where I used to live. Found the building where I had a condo in, and it looks exactly the same. Exactly. They haven't changed anything.
It looks really nice, yeah.
And I went to the pizza place where I used to go and eat a lot of pizza because I was working like 90 hours a week, and I would go there and feed my face at the pizza place, and it's still there, but the new ownership, the Greek family that had it, and actually I became really good friends with their son, and I remember going to Easter at their home. That was a trip. Greek Orthodox Easter. There was a lot of a lot of ceremony. I remember we're taking a shot of this and take a shot of alcohol was involved, and it was food was amazing. I remember, and they sold it 5 years ago to this new guy who's running it now, and the patriarch of that Greek family has passed, but his son is apparently managing it now. He was about my age. The son was, and. My main purpose for going there was to see the Celtics. They played the Oklahoma City, and they lost, which was not good. But it was great to go see the game. It was just a phenomenal experience, and going to I lived there for 4 years, and just went to see. There was a wine store where I met a girl that I dated for a while, and that building is still there. But it's now it's a storage place. They sell boxes and storage. And then I went to the gym where I met my good friend Michael, and we were on the squash courts. And they still have the squash courts, but they're not being used. They're being in the process of being torn out. And so nobody plays squash anymore. In fact, in one of the squash courts, they had all these.
Is squash the big thing that you catch the ball?
What is squash? It's like racquetball, but the ball is smaller and harder.
Okay.
And the rackets are a longer. Oh no, that's handball. You're thinking of handball. Okay, yeah. And you have like a racquetball, you can do a kill shot where you can hit the ball so close that it rolls off, that it literally, you cannot return it because you hit the ground, and if you do it perfectly, it'll roll back. That's a kill shot. And because it can't be returned because there's no bounce, if it's rolling on the floor. You can't do that in squash because you have a tin radiator is the only way to describe it. It's like 15 inches off the ground, and you have to hit the front wall above that. If you hit that tin thing, it'll go bing, make a big noise, and then you just lost the point. So that's one difference between racquetball and squash. And I think the courts are slightly different in size, but the ball is much smaller and it's harder, whereas racquetball is bigger and has air in it, whereas a squash ball is smaller and harder. Racket is different. A squash racket has a longer handle and a smaller face, whereas a racquetball is just basically just a handle where you grab it and then the racket starts. But neither of those sports are very popular today, I don't think. Does anybody play racquetball today? Or even squash? I mean, those are sports from the last century. Pickleball's big now.
Pickleball is just blown up.
Yeah.
People didn't even realize that was a game. It's been around forever. But it just kind of blew up, and you got older people playing it, and a lot of younger people.
I mean, I see there's a young woman who was a worship leader at my previous church, and she's also a physical trainer. I know she does, and she's in her early 30s, and I happen to come across her Instagram page, and she's become a pickleball, just obsessed with pickleball. Almost all her posts are about her playing pickleball and winning these tournaments.
I would love to find a place to play pickleball. I played for the first time on cruise ship. Daniel and I, my brother Daniel, they just had it set up there on the basketball court, and we picked it up just to try it out because we never played. And I'm a big ping pong player, so that's just kind of a bigger version. And I've never liked a tennis. It was like I just couldn't coordinate, but I'm a big ping pong person, and that just felt like a little extension of ping pong, and I loved it right away. I really enjoyed
when
it.
I was walking around in Boston on my way to the garden, the TD Garden for the game, I walked by. Of course, it's downtown, and I walked by this facility on street level, and it was a place where you pay. Apparently, you go in and you play ping pong. They had like 8 tables there. And you probably rent it by the hour, kind of like a pool. You go to a pool hall and you pay by the hour or whatever. Similar to that, probably. And it was right on street level. They had all the windows. You could watch them playing.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I mean, maybe ping pong is coming back, or maybe that was just a one of in that area. I don't know, but it was interesting. I watched them for a little bit, and even at we had a Men on Fire Bible at my church, a men's conference. Which was phenomenal. 2 weekends, last weekend or the weekend before, and at the beginning they had a ping pong on stage, picked people from, and but nobody was any good. I mean, I wished I had volunteered because I probably could have won it. Nobody could even return the ball of the ones that they chose to get up there. So maybe ping pong's making a comeback. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's always been kind of it definitely stayed not super popular, but I mean, you'll see it here and there. But seeing an entire place where they have ping pong, I guess that seemed like that area is so populated. There's probably, I mean, more people per square feet there that there's going to be something like that makes sense. Was there anything else there, or was it just
ping pong? Just ping pong. It's from what I could see.
That's interesting.
It was ground level, big windows. Just space. That's all I could see there. In Boston, I used to live there, and Boston has its own vibe. Its own. It definitely. Boy, this is different. I'm not in Tennessee anymore. It's just different. I don't even know how to explain it, but the vibe was much different, and I kind of missed it. And, of course, part of it is nostalgia. I was a lot younger when I lived there, and we all remember earlier memories, and we only remember the good times when we think of things. But Boston has a lot of personality to it, and I even when I walk back, I went I took the green line to my apartment, and then I walked back, and it was 5 miles back to downtown where I'd left my bag, and I had to pick it up to go to the airport. And so I decided to walk, and I walked by Fenway Park, right on the green line there, Kenmore Square, walked through Boston University, all memories, because I used to take the green line. We would go right through all that. I went to some Fenway games at Fenway Park, and then I walked to downtown in the Boston Common, which is a park there, and I walked on Beacon Street, which is really where all the bougie people live, and I walked down to the theater district where I saw some great Ian McDonald. Ian, the guy who played the wizard, or in one of the, he played Gandalf. Didn't he play Gandalf? Ian,
Ian McGregor?
McGregor.
Yeah.
A British theater actor. I remember a girl I was dating. I didn't know who he was. I remember when I was in Boston, we went to see Ian McGregor, a solo show where a lot younger Ian McGregor, and I still have the playbill, and he just came out and he said, "How many Shakespeare plays were there?" And somebody said 30. People were trying to remember. He was interacting with the crowd, and then he was just doing Shakespeare bits. It was just a solo thing, Ian McGregor, and doing Shakespeare from different plays that Shakespeare had written. And he said there were 36. And I've since Googled that, and now they say there's a different number, 37 or 35. But at that time, he was saying it's 36. Now, he's like the OG guy of Shakespeare acting. And I also saw Porgy and Bess. I mean, so Boston is not, obviously if you're going to go see shows like that, New York is the place. But I remember my sister and brother-in-law came to visit, and we went to see a production of The Nutcracker. And ever since then, at Christmas time, they've gone, I'll bet you they've been to 100 Nutcrackers, maybe not that many, but they make it a point. They love to go to Nutcrackers. You know that because they talk about it. And they have told me, now I haven't asked them if it's still true, but they've told me many times the best Nutcracker they ever saw was the one they saw with me in Boston. So,
because you got up and did a little dance.
Yeah,
and
I did the Russian dance where you do the. I did that.
What is Tim doing up there?
So Boston, great man. Porgy and Bess, that was phenomenal. I saw that, and so there's a walk by the theater where I saw some of those. So some great memories back in Boston. Now the old Garden where the Celtics played, where I saw Larry Bird play and Michael Jordan. That's been torn down. They got a new one. It's a beautiful facility, and great experience. Was glad to be back. Went to Quincy Market, Faneuil Hall, that area. I mean, Boston is so cool.
Nice.
What do you got? How are we coming on time?
Oh, we're right about there. Right about there, and that was this week's in little bit of awkward silence. Stay tuned next time for the next awkward silence. We'll be sponsored.
Do you think we could? How long of an awkward silence can we do?
Oh, let's go for it. Tim, you can't laugh during awkward silence. All right, well that doesn't work, I guess. I started in some funny.
We'll have to practice. We'll have to practice.
We're gonna have to rehearse.
The awkward silence.
I'm sorry, I missed the rehearsal last week. Well, guys, we'll probably wrap it up there. That was a good 40 minutes. We've been words are hard right now for me. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching as always. Feel free to share the podcast on Facebook. Share it with your friends. We'd really appreciate that. Like our Facebook page, our social medias. You can follow us on YouTube. Of course, we are all, the podcast is on Spotify and Apple. You can catch us there. And we will see you guys next time. Love ya. Bye. TikTok. But Facebook, we are still here. Because Facebook, most of our viewers come from Facebook, and we love that. And we love you guys. And we hope you enjoy the podcast. See you next time. Bye.
Okay, Instagram.
Last but not least, Instagram, we enjoy you. And I want to know why. Instagram, why are you not working correctly on my phone? I have a brand new phone, and it's not working on my phone. But I still love you. Bye.
Looks like that one's already done.
Oh, whoops.
I hope there's something there.
No, it was, oh yeah, that one cuts off at 40 minutes, and we were right at 40 minutes, right? I think it cuts off at 40 minutes. You said before.
Well, hopefully there was something there, but either way, I thought I had it going, but it said.
Should we maybe not go live on